Hi, everybody. Okay, this is a guided message. I have to go here. Okay. There's a reason why I have to go here. So there's several things that I need to tell you all. First, we are here, and I mean we as in the spiritual community. We're here to help you. And there's a mass of people to help. A mass. So when you guys come in to our community for guidance, okay, for guidance, you have to understand how many people come for guidance. If you ever look at the chat box, take a moment to look at the chat box. There are so many people on the chat box, and y'all are practically talking to each other during this period, which is why we have this. And I feel really bad for, the spirit, the guides on here, because they get so much grief and flack from people who want these messages that we're receiving to be specifically directed to them. That's a little difficult. You guys have to understand this. Unless, and that's why they specifically ask you to pay for a reading. It's not so much to make money, but no one can live for free. We can't just continue, just doing it just to do it. It's good for you, but unfortunately, doing things just to do it doesn't pay the bills. So being on here and reading and giving you a message for hours or an hour of a private message it kind of hurts more than helps on the other end, and helps you. It's like going to the doctor and then not paying the doctor bill or not having insurance. So you don't go to the doctor, right? So how can you come to a guide and expect them to not expect anything? That's not how life works. You can't even buy a car without having insurance or gas money. Okay? It doesn't work like that. So those are two very specific reasons why we asked for that, is because we can't just do it. How many people are we going to just do it for? We could be sitting here for hours, for days, just doing it. And then people will just have a tendency of not being polite enough to show gratitude. So, which makes them upset at that point. That means that they're upset at that point because they aren't happy with what they hear. Look, let me say something. We have no control over the people we are reading. We're just reading. So that means we can't make your boyfriends or girlfriends come back. Your lost dogs. We can't cure cancer. We can't. We can tell you that maybe you should go to the doctor. Should, which is a suggestion. But we are not doctors. So please give us a break. Because we're really just trying to do this and make a life for ourselves. Work-play balance. Second, I saw something out of the corner of my eyes that was really weird because there's nothing there. Second, let me say, I've gotten to the point in my life that I don't want to I'm kind of being defiant. It's not like a bad defiant. It's just that I'm at a place in my life that I want to create my own destiny. I don't want to live by other people's ideals. Is that bad? Not for me. Well, depending on how you look at it. I have been pulling oracle cards. I've been reading lately, and my cards aren't changing much. And I was wondering why. Why do I keep out of this entire deck? I mean, each of my decks, they have several cards. 78. Some of them all major arcanas. Some of them just, spiritual sayings. Some of them more direct. I'm more of an oracle reader. I love oracles. And the reason is because we all, as a community, are kind of going through the same thing. The way I found that out is I met some new people. And I went on a couple of dates. And the people that I met are going through the same thing. We're all hermiting. We're afraid of a virus that no longer affects us in such a bad way. So many businesses have been affected that we can't even go to the same places that we used to. If you do catch corona, how many of us are actually dying? They've shut down many corona sites for testing. Because now it's like having the common cold, if that. Sometimes you can't taste anything. Some people don't even know that they have it. We're so afraid of the next disease because corona did us so badly. Let's look at history, okay? Okay, sweethearts. Back in the 1600s, even BC, when the common cold first came out, it killed people. We had no immunities whatsoever to that in our bodies. 808. People have to understand the way of the world. I mean, seriously. Nowadays, we're taking shots and boosters and, you have to take, I don't know, the chicken pox shot, whatever it is. As a child, and you have to do this. As an adult, you need this. And don't get me wrong. People do have issues of such. You can't get chicken pox as an adult. It's called shingles. It sucks. But you're not going to die. The thing is, you have to rely on yourself. Self. 919 on the clock. You have to rely on self. That means that you have to take care of your body. Give it vitamins, which I can't say are all that great, but it helps. You'll start noticing major differences in how you feel, how you react. Because a body without nutrients is a dead one. No food, We cannot survive the 7 days on water alone. We all know these things. Or shouldn't. Your body, if you do survive longer than 7 days, will start eating its own fat. But when there's no fat left, it'll eat organs. Your body's natural evolution for survival is exactly how the world works. We need to stop staying at home. Stop going on the internet to look for answers. We didn't used to do that. We stopped our entire way of life because something came in. Ooh. Oh God. It was supposed to teach us something. And it wasn't so 11/22. It wasn't for us to just hide. Why hide from Corona, but we'll go to Afghanistan to fight in a war? That does not make any sense. I don't want Corona to beat me. And I'm tired of people, and I mean the employment industry, using Corona to underpay people or not pay them at all. The thing is, and the reason I'm saying this is because I had a really hard job. A really difficult one that took the life from me, out of my body. I couldn't move when I woke up in the morning. And I don't mind getting my hands dirty. Trust me, that's what God gave them to me for. That's why there is a trade and barter system. I have money to trade for food. Grocery stores have money to buy, to stock, trade, and barter. It's essential for the economy, especially nowadays. Because if you take it without having anything to trade, they call it theft. Now we have become there's so many of us in this world, people, and more coming in to be created, that there is barely any natural land. 13:33 on the clock. There's barely any natural land anymore to farm, to create our own crops, our own source of food, nutrients, vitamins. So we rely on the trade and barter system. Those who do have land do create crops, do farm pigs, do farm cows, do, so that they can mass produce food for people. Okay? We all kind of understand this, which is why we should stop being so wasteful. I'm sorry, I had to put that in. Because wasting food is a ridiculous thing to do. There are hungry people out here. If you have leftovers, go give it to them. Put it in that car that you have and drive it to the nearest homeless person. There are so many. There are so many of us. Did you know that I found out on the news that the government plans on ending Social Security in the year 2034? That is going to put a lot of elderly, a lot of mentally disabled, a lot of people in wheelchairs, a lot of incapables out on the street. 2034. That's 12 more years. And if those of us are those of them who rely on that, what are they going to do? Especially when the government decides about the economy, how it's ran, where the money comes from and goes. The state of Texas is in a very, very real deficit right now. The sad thing is they don't want to share the coronavirus money that they are receiving. So they're receiving money from the U.S. government, state of Texas, for coronavirus relief. We're getting it. Not we, the state of Texas. But we as a Texans are not receiving anything. Economy has risen and nothing else has. Did you know? Okay. You used to be able to take $150 to the grocery store and end up filling your refrigerator. Now you take $150 to the grocery store and you get 10 items at most. The cost of grain has risen. Because of the health issues, because of all of the... And mind you, this is where it comes from, 1755. We are having health issues as people because of all the additives in production of food. We want bigger cows, so we shoot them up with stuff. That's killing us. It's safe to eat, but long-term use is really detrimental to the body. All those people going on here and talking about, oh, these are organic. Organ attack, more like. It's just a different kind of chemical to make the same product. So I want brown chicken eggs instead of white chicken eggs because they're brown chicken eggs. Because somebody said that the brown chicken eggs is better than the white chicken eggs, or the larger eggs, or the smaller eggs, or the... Look. I'm sorry. None of that is true. Facts are, as long as it would take to actually breed out, and you'd have to breed that stuff out, like literally. You can't like go buy a chicken from this farm and then bring it here and not feed it any kind of weird stuff and then expect that to be a organic chicken. Let me tell you something. Let me put it like this. For those who are dog specialists, I'm going to put it like this. So, did you know that when a purebred dog, male or female, breeds with a mixed breed dog or another breed of dog, do you know that you have to like super breed, and you decided, okay, well, since this dog has been bred with this, I don't know, Chihuahua has been bred with a Yorkie, but they're both, Yorkie is purebred and the Chihuahua is purebred. Now you have Chihuahuas. I don't know what the name is for. I don't know. So, okay, say you have that going on. Did you know that you can't take that purebred Yorkie and breed it with another purebred Yorkie and just get a Yorkie? Did you know that you have to breed that Chihuahua out of that Yorkie? Like that sticks to their genomes until it is bred out with like 4 years. For years, you have to breed that out of a dog. Same thing happens with animals, all animals. You have to breed that nasty stuff, 2222, that they have injected into mass production animals out of that animal. All of them, their predecessors. So we're all being fed a bunch of BS. And they're charging us more money for it. Did you watch? Did you see? Literally with your own eyes. Those eggs being packaged and bread and, the chickens and, did you see that with your own eyes, or did they just kind of put a label on it and tell you this is what it is and you actually believed it? I am tired. I'm not going to let anyone else tell me what to do. Who I can be. What I want. What I don't want. Speaking of, let's get to that. I went out at night. I needed to let loose. It's been like so long. I'm a Sagittarian and I cannot stand to just go to work and come home and do nothing, which is what we've become now as a population, because the people that I did go on dates with, they were telling me the same thing. It's just been too long since I've gone out and done anything. It's Pride Month. I said I'm going to get out there. I'm not even going to just be. That's not this year. Corona did something to me. Okay? It created a hermit stasis I don't like. And this is coming from a person that is a promoter, and I used to do this and that and the other. And now Corona's created a hermit stasis that I don't like. So on to the major part of what I have to say. I went out on a date, and let me tell you how really weird this stuff is. So they tell me, yeah, I've been, at home and in a stasis that they don't like. And I've been alone and I haven't dated anybody for a couple of years. And first, they called me before I could even wake up the next morning. And then they, can I take you out to eat? Absolutely. Because my purpose is to get out there and, get to know people, right? So we go out to eat. We, and it was, I'm a conversationalist. I can have a conversation. Look, ain't nobody here talking to me. I'm talking to you. So I'm a conversationalist. So I was, having a conversation with this person, and they would not speak. And that's a red flag to me altogether to start. Okay? Because, why are you not talking? When I ask you something about yourself, why is it just very vague? You're all up in my business. So, but then I was like, okay, benefit of the doubt. Some people just don't talk. So they said, well, where do you want to go next? I said, okay, let's go to the animal shelter because I really am trying to find me a dog companion, And so I said, let's go to the animal shelter. That would be fun. So we go to the animal shelter. 2727, this is the honest God truth. Every time he came into the kennel areas, the dogs would go crazy. Every one of them, I could smell it. That's another red flag for me. I don't mean to be judgmental, but it's like animals. We all know, and I'm very in touch with animals. And animals that have a way of letting you know when they don't like something. If a dog doesn't like its food, it's not going to eat it. If a dog senses danger, it's going to attack. It is what it is, like for real, like there's no denying that. If a dog smells fear, it has going to react. So when a dog smells something that's not so good, it's going to have a reaction. Something I had never experienced, and I go to that dog shelter all the time. So, okay, skip back to, okay, we had breakfast. We went to the dog shelter. It's, roughly 2 o'clock in the afternoon at this point. I have things to do. So I'm like, okay, well, I said, what are you doing for the rest of the day? And they said, okay, well, I have this going on and that going on. I said, okay. Well, I got this going on and that going on, so I'm going to do that. And I said, maybe we can catch up, some other time, or, later, give me a shout when you're free. Later meaning some other day. So, okay. Mind you, I met them at a place, not my home to pick me up because it was kind of a random phone call in a random place where I gave out my business card. So I met them at the place that was not my home. And I said, okay, well, you can just drop me back off where we met. Okay. So the question, so they convinced to ask, so where do you live? Where you picked me up from? Okay. So where we went, we, to the animal shelter, we Ubered there. So when this person, and I do have a car, but that's not the point. When this person dropped me off, they tried to get out the Uber. I said, wait. So you're staying? And it wasn't that I wasn't interested. It was a date. A date means let's get to know each other. A date doesn't mean if you go take me out to breakfast and take me to the animal shelter, you can come to my house and we're going to sleep together or have relations. No, that's not a date. That's a hookup. I'm not hooking up. That's not what I'm looking for in life. And as this person came and talked to me, that's what I had to explain. Why should I have to explain these things? They commenced to text me and tell me, well, I wanted to do other stuff. I said, well, what's other stuff? What do you mean by other stuff? I knew the answer to that question. I was just wondering if they were going to tell me the truth. I wanted to give you a massage and I wanted to come and, oh no. And then I said, you know what? Let me tell you something. I don't know what you were expecting, but I don't just hook up with random people. I am not that desperate to have somebody come and buy me breakfast, a $15 breakfast, and then take me to the animal shelter and then come and hook up with them. I'm not hooking up with you. And because you have such a shallow outlook on life, that you think that hooking up over a $15 breakfast and you drove an hour out of your way to get here means that I'm going to invite you into my bedroom. I don't think I'm even interested at this point. That means you drove an hour out of your way and tried to sweet talk me, 33, to hook up and have relations with you. Mm. 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 The most conversation I had with you was over text message. And then B, everything during the time that I spent with you, 33:55, I realize you're in a depressive state. Like you're literally depressed. Like the conversation about yourself was, I hurt my leg, somebody died, my mother is a terrible drunk, and I'm embarrassed of myself. That was the gist of your conversation, and other than that, you didn't tell me much. I'm not hooking up with you. You're one of those people, 34 is going to suck me up all my energy, my positive energy, so you feel better. You're going to treat me like a trophy. I mean, it's not that I don't want to be trophied. I'm looking for love. I'm not looking for somebody that's going to put me on such a high pedestal it becomes toxic. So what ends up, and let me tell you how this goes. And so I can like literally share the red flags of toxicity. Someone puts you on a very high pedestal. They pay for everything, do for everything, this, that, and the other. At that point, they are gaining control of you financially, physically, and emotionally. So when you become reliant on those things from that person, they'll start to take that away from you when you don't do what they say. So and this is why, and so let me finish telling you what happened with the rest of the day. So he commenced to tell me, I said, and I'm just now getting to know you, so I'm not that kind of person. I'm really kind of old-fashioned when it comes to relationships. And he commenced to tell me, after I said, I'm in my own bubble, and I want somebody to deserve me. He says, well, I guess I'll just stay in my own bubble then. Why? Because I'm not going to have relations with you. I'd rather date and get to know you than have relations with you because you fed me a $15 meal. I'm not interested in you at all. At all. You're not even human at this point. So I guess that's kind of my point is that's why and this is the story, I've been being fed in the dating world, and it's ugly. People, that's why you're single. Either you're giving it away too quickly and no one's working for it, and then they leave you right as soon as they get what they want. Or people are actually growing up and being smart. And they end up with somebody like that. And they tell them hell no. And then they stay single. And then the person that's coming at them like that also stays single. Because we have forgot how to act like human beings. We forgot these things. Men are getting caught up in pregnancies with women that they don't want. Women are getting caught up pregnant by men that they never intended to be pregnant by. Or they did intend to be pregnant by this person because they wanted to have a couple of babies and thought that, hey, well, now I really like this guy and I'm going to keep him around using this pregnancy, and that is not going to work. Because you're building something on a faulty foundation. That is the fault of the foundation. At that point, you can't blame anybody, either of you. Then you're coming to tarot readings expecting tarot to tell you what to do or how to get them back or when to get them back or if they're coming back. And guess what? That's codependency. It's like damned if you do and damned if you don't. But if you don't take the time to get to know someone, then you're really just not going to succeed in that relationship. And I mean that part of that person. I mean that part of that person that like nobody wants to know, but you have to find out. People are like, oh yeah, I was with him for a year and we got married and all of a sudden he changed. That's because there's the person that you show on a date. There's the honeymoon phase, and then there's the real. I've learned that so many times I can't even, because I'm the kind of person that just sees the good in everybody. I want to believe that there is. It's not that there's not. It's just that people come up with their own kind of agendas. And the agenda changes. Here to there to here. It's like a person that went out just to have relations or just to find somebody to, hang out with, or just, it'll be nice to have friends. Then you meet somebody and then you're just like, I really like them. Agenda change. Now I want to hang out with them, see who they are. That's an agenda change. Now I want to date them 3 months or a month later, or not even that long. It doesn't even take that long nowadays. Now I want to be with them for a while. Agenda change. So make sure you all are on the same page. And don't look to tarot to tell you what to do. Look to tarot to understand why. Tarot's not here to tell you what to do. It's here for you to understand why. And if you don't look within yourself to understand why, and you're looking for answers to tell you what to do, you will always be mistaken. It doesn't say tomorrow do this. It says in a week this will happen. Then you have to understand at that point why. What patterns are you keeping up that's creating this problem? That somebody can actually predict what you're going to do a week from now. That's a pattern of behavior. Why? That is what you need to go to tarot for. Why? Not go to tarot for what to do. Go to tarot for why does this keep happening? Because again, if somebody can predict what you are going to do a day from now, a week from now, a month from now, why? Patterns of behavior. So I don't want anybody to tell me what to do. Because you know what? The smartest people in this entire world are people who actually learn from patterns of behavior. You don't want to be told. So switch it up a bit. It's like when your job gets boring. So you have to come up with a new narrative, a new way to keep it interesting. Tarot's the same thing. Learn from it. Don't depend on it to create something in your future. Learn that, okay, not only is this your pattern of behavior, but the person in which they are reading for you on, it's their pattern of behavior too. That's why we can predict as readers a week from now. Learn to switch it up. Don't depend on it. Like literally, the universe works Happiness runs in a circular motion. Y'all should look up that song. And you know what happens with that song? It's actually, it originates in India, this song. And they made it into a, what do you call it? When you sing it, and then in the middle of the song, another person starts the song, and it just keeps going and going, and then another person starts the song. I don't remember what it's called. But the point is that we're all having the same outcomes. We're all having the same situations. We're all ended up dating people, then having relations with them, and then wondering why it doesn't work out, and then we all come to tarot for an answer, and then we're all learning. Because I literally, again, went on several dates. We're all doing the same thing. We're all doing the same thing. Becoming choked up. And you know what? You're the one holding the noose. No one told you to do it. So stop cycling. And you know what? It's easier said than done, because I'm going through my own, I don't even know. I'm tired of cycling. That's what I know. And they say that nothing good happens until you stop cycling. And I guess what they mean by that is, if you stop doing the same thing over and over again, which is the definition of insanity, is to repeat the same thing over and over and over again and expect a different result. So if you don't change the way you see yourself, then you can't change the way people react and come at you. Because as you follow that pattern of behavior of low self-esteem, or wherever or whatever that takes you there, you end up in that particular situation, you're going to keep running into the same kind of person. And sometimes the same person who is going to do the same thing over and over again. So I think we need to change that. Sometimes that may take being single so you can stop that pattern of behavior. Because you don't want to go chasing. Because chasing is going to attract the same kind of person. And why? Because you're used to this kind of person. So you're going to find somebody with a better smile, but the same pattern of behavior. If you change, and I'm not saying go, instead of meeting him in the club, look for him in the grocery store. Same thing. It's a mentality thing. It's the aura you put out. It's the things that you say, the things that you do, how much you respect yourself. Where is it coming from? Once you fix that wounding, that's when things will change on your outward. So no, I'm not going to sleep with you because you bought me a $15 dinner, and then, I like you because your smile is pretty. So, okay, now we're dating, now we're this, now we're that. Now we're together because I slept with you last night. And a month from now we're no longer having anything. Or 2 years from now, we didn't have a baby, and now you're on to the next. We have to change that within ourselves. And that is a hard pattern to change. Because you never see it coming. So the way that you see it kind of happening is to do the very thing that you never do, which is wait. Close your legs. Tight. Connect on a mental space. Because the mind is a powerful thing. And if you don't know how somebody's mental cycle works and you're not looking for it, you're going to find exactly what you're looking for. Incompatibility. So, this is Ace of Wands Hierophant with a guided message for you to love yourself first. Because if you don't love yourself, how can you love anybody else? Much love to you and thank you for coming. Right down there, there's a subscription button. Please subscribe. If you do not want to subscribe, it is not required. There's a like and a share. If you liked it, please like it. Thank you so much. And this is not a criticism, by the way. This is what I'm experiencing, so this is advice. And down below there, there's a Cash App. If you'd like to donate to my Cash App, it is listed below. Thank you very much for coming. I appreciate you. I hope that we have an understanding. Have a beautiful day and God bless and namaste. Don't forget to say your affirmations. And not about somebody else. Make sure it's about you. You love yourself. You are worthy of more. And you're the most beautiful person in the world. Have a great day and thank you for coming.